is a special presentation of the National Lacrosse League.
It's the West Final that few saw coming. The Colorado Mammoth are now just one win away from the championship final after stunning the Rush in overtime. Does this Cinderella team have a little more magic? The Roughnecks also took to the road in the first round, but a win in San Diego has them back in their own barn, where a packed crowd will try to urge them forward. It's the NLL's West Division final between the Roughnecks and Mammoth, coming up next on BR Live.
Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. We the one. We the one. Out of the darkness, I rose up. Golden my soul, it's a gold rush. Yeah. Honor and freedom, I toast up. Kicking game on the snare drum. Heart on the beat, let it bleed out like sacrifices. Cut it open, emotions. Spilling like oil and coasting. Therapy for my mental, I'm pinning a pistol and shoot down the criticisms. Individually, I heard the voices that told us. Yeah. Throw dirt on my name and wish me the worst and scold us, yeah.
Good evening and welcome to Scotiabank Saddledome, where tonight it's the Calgary Roughnecks and the Colorado Mammoth in the National Lacrosse League's West Division Final. My name is Grant Farhall with Jeff Snyder, set to bring you tonight's action between the number 3 and number 4 seeds in the West, and a matchup, Jeff, that I don't think anyone expected. I didn't expect to be back here. I don't think you expected to be here. Here we are. It should be a great game.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I got the call out of the bowels from the staff tonight, so I'm up in the big leagues with you, Grant. I'm pleased to be here. Not a big surprise. You know, Calgary's a playoff team. They're built for it. I think that we all hoped that they were going to, battle through San Diego, which they did. And, certainly a surprise that the Colorado Mammoth are here. A very deep, very playoff experienced Saskatchewan Rush team. And, I think they got caught a little off guard. And now we're here at, a very Western semifinal.
When you talk about the Colorado Mammoth, I think it's fair to say this is maybe a team that doesn't have a lot of star power. Dylan Ward perhaps, but an emerging star, Jeff, in Eli McLaughlin.
He's playing so well. Got a little banged up at the start of the year, and he's certainly a potent player. He's got great hands. He's better off ball than he is on ball, which I think is very dangerous for the Calgary Roughnecks tonight.
Absolutely. Eli McLaughlin, one of the keys to their victory, of course. They're going to rely on a lot of youth and a lot of balance. When it comes to the Calgary Roughnecks, Jeff, for most of the season, it was a story of inconsistency. Then they got on a roll late in the year. 3 straight wins, 4 including the playoff win in San Diego to find that consistency. And, of course, a key player in that regard, Curtis Dixon.
Oh, man, Curtis, a late start. He had some contract issues at the start of the year. Came in, I think there was a little adjusting going on with the team, which played a little bit of part in that inconsistency. They settle in, and Curtis is a big game player who loves the opportunity to rise to the occasion. So getting a little bit used to the dynamic, but after he settled in, a lot more consistent play.
Absolutely. 7 points a week ago in that playoff victory, equaled by Dane Doby. Earlier tonight, Kayla Spies talked with Curtis Dixon.
Curtis, what is the team's mindset for tonight?
Just stay calm. We know we've been playing good lacrosse lately, and that's what we got to continue with. We want to have a good start tonight. This is a good team. They're here for a reason, and we know we're going to have to play our A game to come out here with a win.
In the regular season, Colorado's defense definitely held you and Dane Doby a little bit back. Only a handful of goals between you two. What are some of the obstacles there?
It's a good defense, and it's a very, very good goaltender in Dylan Ward. That's something that we have to figure out tonight. Like I said, we need a good start. We got to figure it out early. We're playing offense by committee. It doesn't matter if me and Dane are on. As long as we're putting the ball in the net, that's all we care about.
Thanks all for this.
Thanks, Kyle.
Curtis Dixon, the Calgary Roughnecks against the Colorado Mammoth tonight, the NLL's West Division Final. We've got it for you coming up next. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League Playoffs, presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live.
And with glowing hearts we true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
All right, thank you, Annie.
The NL on BR Live is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. And by Michelob Ultra, live Ultra. Welcome back into Scotiabank Settle. My name's Grant Farrell with Jeff Snyder. We're moments away from getting this one underway. And Jeff, we take a look here at the tail of the tape between these two teams. The records tell the story, an unexpected result.
Yeah, you look at, the goals for and goals against is a big one. A very potent Calgary offense, a slightly weaker Colorado offense. The biggest strength for the Mammoth is obviously their defense. Calgary's been playing the best lacrosse of their season leading up to this game tonight, and I expect a hell of a matchup.
Yeah, special teams advantage should favor the Roughnecks as well, as they enjoyed a strong special teams on both the power play and the penalty kill this season. Taking a look at the goalie matchup, it is a good one. Dylan Ward in net for the Mammoth, 5-11 on the season, but 10.84 goals against average, a save percentage of 77.5, a 9.37 in overall with that 81.5 save percentage you see there. At the other end of the floor, Christian Del Bianco, one of the real young stars in this league, 11.00 goals against average in the playoffs, 79.6 save percentage. His regular season numbers, 11.17 and 78.2. Set a record, or led the league rather, in minutes played and saves, and also set a team record, Jeff, when it comes to total number of saves. Christian Del Bianco was a workhorse for the Roughnecks this year. He's been a huge part of their team. I think Christian's stolen some games and is definitely, a big part of the reason why the Roughnecks are here tonight against Colorado Mammoth. And same thing to say with Dylan Ward. Dylan's a big game player. Expect his best game of the year. Absolutely. Face-off battle, Tim Edwards versus Tyler Burton, who had a big game a week ago. 17 of 27 on the draw and got that big fourth quarter goal for the Roughnecks. As we are now underway in first possession of the game, we'll go to the Mammoth. Want to say hello to everyone down in Colorado, in Denver, watching this game live on Altitude. Glad you're with us here tonight to enjoy what should be a fantastic game between two teams who are well deserved to be here based on how they played a week ago. There's a shot, just whistles wide, comes all the way back near center. Gathered in there by Rouet. He's just going to throw it down to the corner, and the Roughnecks will take the ball back here and get their first possession of this game. Solid start for the Mammoth there, working the ball around. Not a shot on goal, but definitely putting some pressure on early. See what the Roughnecks now can do with it as they get their first look. Here comes the shot. That one goes wide of the net, comes way up in the air. Dane Dobie tries to find it, has a chance at it, and does. And he'll recover it for the Roughnecks here with 10 on the shot clock. Now he's surveying the scene. Spins off a defender, takes a shot, and a big save there by Ward. Rebound comes to the Roughnecks though as Pace found it, and Calgary's going to get a fresh 30. That's big. You expect to see a lot of battles for second possessions all night. That could dictate the outcome of this game right away. Riley Lowen, who was the leading scorer against the Mammoth this season, hands off to Dane Dobie over the other side. There's a shot, nice kick save there by Ward. Comes all the way back towards center, and the Roughnecks will maintain possession here and get another fresh 30. Pace walks it over center. Now over the restraining line, plays it down to the corner. As the third look this possession for the Roughnecks. Now it's King with it. King passes over to the other side. Here's Dixon. Dixon tries to cut to the net and stuff it in and lands in the crease. Well, that's a big offensive set for the Calgary Roughnecks. Again, second and third possessions are huge, especially in playoff lacrosse. I would expect to see, a lot of teams battling right now for that loose ball on the offensive end. Now back to work on offense are the Mammoth. Rouet has it with Ryan Lee. Lee has it. Now he'll play it down to the corner. Now Noble with it. Noble passes up high with 10 to shoot. Now they'll work it from the left side. Salama on the defense there. There's a shot, and Del Bianco makes his first stop, and it's a big one.
It's a big breakdown on the Calgary defense there. I think you saw that in the Seals game last week. Lots of off-ball picks and off-ball slips that cost the Roughnecks.
Now Dobie with it again. Now it'll be a loose ball, or pardon me, a pick violation against the Roughnecks. So that'll give possession back to the Mammoth. Still looking for our first goal of this game. 12 and a half minutes to go here in the first quarter. Coates has it. Coates passes off, and now here's Kyle Killen. Killen now swings it all the way across the other side. Juggled briefly, but gathered back in there. With now 14 on the shot clock. Behind the back pass, and a defender loses his stick. Save made by Del Bianco. Ball to the corner, and Courier finds it there for the Roughnecks. Going to play it well ahead to Dan McRae, but he can't stretch to find it. Capito, of course, the overtime winner last week, finds it instead, and the Mammoth will get possession back here.
Two beautiful chances for the Colorado Mammoth that last possession. Putting a lot of pressure on offense right now, and Christian Del Bianco's holding them in the game.
So far, no goals from either club. Now here's Rouet with it. Rouet now with some room, takes a shot, and Del Bianco with another save. We'll see now if the Roughnecks can get going here on offense. Cummings has it. He'll get it to the offense in the form of Riley Lowen. Lowen down the near side, now has some room to the net, takes the shot, and an awkward save, but does the job as Ward makes another stop. Now Stewart with it, he'll pass off. The Mammoth go back to work offensively with Ryan Lee on the ball. Lee has it still. Gets some help on that side from away. Now he'll pass off, get the return pass, takes the shot, blocked by the defender. And a whistle on the play, and they're going to give it back to the Mammoth here.
Tyson Bell campaigning, saying that came off a Colorado Mammoth player, but all for naught. I think we're going back the other way.
All right, so the Mammoth get a fresh 30 out of that, and here's Lee again with it. Lee looks over to the other side, passes there, and then Rouet gets it, fakes the shot, takes the shot, that hits the defender, goes to the corner. Burton gathers it in there with a nice loose ball, and he's going to send it ahead, and here come the Roughnecks now back on offense as we're still looking for our first goal. 0-0 here, 10:40 to go in the first quarter. Dixon has it for the Roughnecks. Dixon waiting for everyone to get on the floor, gives it to Dobie. Now Dobie will send it down to the corner. Dan Taylor with it. Taylor now with the pass. Now quick pass in the slot area, hits a defender. Dixon comes over to get it instead. Dixon now tries to shake off a couple defenders. He's only got 3 to shoot. Tries to whip it on net, gets it on net, but Ward has no problem with that one.
Curtis Dixon's scary in that situation. Late in the shot clock, getting swarmed by defenders. He's such an unconventional shooter that ball can find the net at any point in time. So a big save by Dylan Ward and an excellent defensive stand by the Colorado Mammoth.
Now Killen passes over to the other side where the Mammoth go to work. This is the kind of game Colorado's looking for, a defensive battle. Perhaps that's their game. Goaltending and defense. Now there's a shot by McLaughlin, just skips over the net. Battle in the corner, but that's going to be a 30-second violation against the Mammoth, rather. With 9:46 to go here in the first quarter. No score here, waiting for our first goal between the Calgary Roughnecks and the Colorado Mammoth. You're watching the National Lacrosse League playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live. .0-0 here in Calgary between the Calgary Roughnecks and the Colorado Mammoth as we take a look at how Calgary got to this point. Late goals last week in San Diego. First it was Jesse King, then Tyler Burton off a faceoff comes in and puts a high shot into the San Diego net. And here's the big play, and I think Wild there with the big pick, freeing space, Jeff, for Curtis Dixon. You say it all the time, it's the stuff that happens away from the ball. That play by Wild there, a big ingredient in that goal.
Absolutely. I think the big difference maker in any playoff game is transition. You're going to have your power play opportunities. They're going to be limited on your power play because teams are playing clean. You're going to have your offensive sets, your defensive sets, and the big determining factor is pushing the ball up the floor. Massive play by Mitch Wild, finding Curtis Dixon off the bench and then looking for him early for a pick to come top side. They're looking for Curtis early in transition right away. Expect to see more of that tonight.
Calgary back to work offensively here as they get possession. Riley Lowen passes to Dixon, gets it back to Lowen. Now plays it over as they go back and forth. That was actually to Dutch. Dutch this time drops it, gets a big whack for his trouble. Still trying to find it. Ball pops way up in the air. Doby comes over for a look. No one seems to want it. Bit of a hot potato, and eventually gets kicked to the corner. And a bit of a brouhaha right near the Mammoth bench, but it looks like cooler heads will prevail.
Refs are letting him play. It's chippy out there. It's playoff lacrosse, and I don't think you're going to see any weak calls here.
No, that's what you want to see for sure. Rouet now with Lee. Lee now plays it down to the corner. And now it's Killen with it. He drops it, and an opportunity here maybe for the Roughnecks to turn it around, but they can't find the handle. Instead, it's Lee with it again. He's just going to try and cool things down here, but there's only 3 left on the shot clock. Now behind the net, the 30-second clock will run out on Chris Wardle, and that's going to give the Roughnecks possession back here. Dan McRae, the captain of the Roughnecks, has it. He'll pass it over center. 8:35 to go here, first quarter. Shots on goal favoring the Roughnecks 4-3. Still waiting for our first goal, though. Jesse King will try and change that now. King, nice pass over to the other side, all the way to the net. Oh, off the bar as Curtis Dixon with some moves, but couldn't beat the post. And as a result, we're still tied 0-0. And now here come the Mammoth back on offense. Tim Edwards with it. Edwards will find his man off the bench. That's Noble now. Noble with a pass to the net, and Del Bianco comes up big.
Well, a big save by Christian Del Bianco. Again, this game could be a lot different right now without Christian backstopping this Calgary defense.
There's a replay of that Curtis Dixon opportunity. You see it go right off the bar there.
Oh, what's dangerous about that is Curtis can go underneath or he can go top side. He gives a little jab step underneath, gets right top side, and a wide open look.
And here he is again. This time he passes to Riley Lowen. Lowen now back to Dixon. Dixon now fakes the shot. Dixon will drive the net again. Can't take the ball with him. King picks it up. Oh, he had Lowen over at the side there. Misses the net. Now Lowen again just puts it on net. Nice job there, and Ward makes a big save.
Oh, you saw the look, the body language on Riley Lowen after that wide open net was missed. I think it was a great defensive play. I couldn't quite have a look at it, but someone got a stick on Riley Lowen there that sent that ball wide.
So we're still waiting for our first goal. Both goalies look sharp early in this one. There's a shot by Lee. Del Bianco takes a bit of a peek, but he has it. And now Courier has it for the Roughnecks. Good pace for this one so far, Jeff.
This is exactly the game that the Colorado Mammoth want to play. Is a defensive, hard-nosed grind, and I think the Calgary Roughnecks need to swing the ball a little bit more, get the ball moving on offense, and create some more opportunities.
Another tricky shot. This from Dane Doby. Ward makes the save. Now he plays it ahead, looking for Capito. Can't grab it. However, Edwards does. He plays it back to Capito, fakes a couple shots, and then puts it over the net. Maybe one too many moves.
Oh, a bumbled ball, but still a 3-on-2 opportunity for the Colorado Mammoth that they can't capitalize on.
Now it's Calgary's turn in transition. Here's King with it. Thought about a shot, then thought better of it. Still has it. Now he'll take a shot and just puts it wide of the net. Actually, Ward got a piece of that.
Oh, it was a good-looking shot. I think Dylan Ward's been tested a little bit more than Christian Del Bianco. Lots of shots in the guts for Christian here, and the Roughnecks are shooting the ball well right now.
Now Doby with it. Doby tries to spin off the defender. Now to the net. Doby can't take the ball with him, so it was chopped out of his stick. King comes over to cause trouble, and then he gets pinned into the wall there. And still a little bit of rough stuff down there.
I think what you're not seeing there is Jesse King's got a hold of something underneath there. He's causing problems. A big smile on his face, and that's the type of play that the big man needs to do for the Roughnecks, is causing problems and creating second opportunities for the Roughnecks offense.
He does it here as a fresh 30 for the Roughnecks. Lowen passes off. There's Dutch with a shot that's defended, or off the defender's stick rather. Lowen comes over near the wall to pick it off. Now he steps over the line, takes the shot, whistles it wide. Rebound to Dutch. Fakes the shot. Now he takes it. That's also wide. And this time it'll be over and back against the Roughnecks. And that'll give the Mammoth an opportunity now. Then the stick is chopped loose. Courier causing trouble. Can't find Bell. A bit of chaos on the floor right now.
That's a beautiful wrap check by Zach Courier. He's so dangerous in the middle of the floor. Between the lines, if you're running with Zach Courier, he is as much a threat without the ball as you are with the ball. So, beautiful wrap check causing that turnover. It's too bad the Roughnecks can't capitalize with a third possession there.
Now here's an opportunity in front of the net, and Vitarelli can't get a good shot on there, and now the Roughnecks will come back the other way. 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Still no score, despite good looks from both teams here. Dane Dobie has the ball right now for the Calgary Roughnecks. Now he starts forward, takes the shot, trying to fool Ward. Ward is not fooled, and now ahead of the play. Here's an opportunity in transition for Edwards. He's going to pull up. Now fakes a shot around the defender, and no goal as he was in the crease. I think Del Bianco had it anyway, so the score will remain 0-0, 4:33 to go here in the first quarter. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live.
Welcome back to the Scotiabank Saddledome. I'm joined by head coach Curt Malawsky. Coach, Calgary hasn't had a home playoff game in a little while. Do you think the bench had a few jitters in those first few shifts?
A little bit of excitement for both sides of things. You know, we want to possess it. We turned it over a little bit, just being excited, but we're making great hustle plays. We'll get there.
Colorado Z is really making you guys work for everything so far. What are you seeing out there?
Well, they're jamming 10 toes inside the dotted line, so we're going to have to create some space on the backside and see if we can't get them firing out a little bit. We got to stick our shots. It'll come over time.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks.
Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Kayla. Curt Malawsky has to be pleased with the emotion of his team so far, Jeff, but maybe that adrenaline hard to control perhaps early in a big game like this.
Yeah, you know, you get jacked up, you're ready to go. You know, short turnaround for the Calgary Roughnecks this week, but still that anticipation builds, and you know, settle into the first quarter here. They're into the first 10 minutes, and you know, the nerves should be wearing off by now.
Back to the live play now as it's a power play. Pardon me, it's it looks like it's a power play here for the Mammoth. I don't see any time on the clock, but Calgary definitely only had 4 players on the floor there, and I look down and I see Reese Callies is definitely in the box.
It had to be on that last play on the you know, the attempt from the Colorado Mammoth that got disallowed. I didn't see the call either, but I would imagine that's where it stemmed from.
Absolutely. So Calgary shorthanded now for another minute 23, and King now passes it through the crease area. Pace is going to have to find the corner there. I'm going to run out of time. Puts a hard shot on the hard angle there just to try and create maybe a rebound opportunity, but that'll give the Mammoth the power play back here that has still some time remaining on it as they'll try and work it on the 5-on-4. That power play during the regular season, 52.8%, pardon me, 37.5%, which was dead last in the league actually during the regular season. Now here's an opportunity. Del Bianco comes across to make the save. Manning tries to seal off his man and gets the ball to Dan McRae. And now the Calgary Roughnecks will start to play it ahead. Want all the latest news, interviews, and more delivered straight to your inbox? Head over to NLL.com and sign up for the NLL newsletter now. You will not want to miss a beat. 0-0 still the score here, 3:03 to go in the first quarter, 27 seconds remaining in the Calgary shorthanded situation, but they have a chance to wind this one down a little bit more. And they do that, and they'll give the Mammoth the ball back here with just 18 seconds remaining on that power play.
Look for them to look for something quick here. You know, the Mammoth might look for a quick hitter. They might hang on to this ball here and wait till they get even strength and use the last 12 seconds of that shot clock, which it looks like they're going to do.
So they just pass it around right now. Killen plays it up high to Noble. Noble now goes back and forth, and that'll end the power play. Back to 5-on-5 play here now. 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. There comes the shot from well out there. Del Bianco makes the save. 2:18 to go here, first quarter, in a 0-0 game. Shots also dead even, 10-10 at this stage. Dane Dobie now runs it over the line. Now he's looking for options. Can't find anyone, hangs on to it. Eventually passes off to King. King now with 9 to shoot, takes a shot, and a sharp save there by Dylan Ward again. Now King comes over and plants his man into the boards. Taylor Stewart took that hit.
Well, that's what Jesse King does best right there, is those big hits, you know, deep in the offensive zone. I got to say the Colorado Mammoth are doing an unreal job on Curtis Dixon off ball right now, not even allowing him to get that look. They're cutting the floor in half on the Calgary Roughnecks.
During the regular season, they did a good job of controlling both Dobie and Dixon, as the leading scorers for Calgary were Riley Lowen and Dan Taylor, and they've continued that job so far here tonight. In this case, though, Calgary with good defense, 30-second violation. Here come the Roughnecks in transition. Bell has it. Bell now looking for someone to pass to, doesn't like his options, so eventually decides to just give it.
Well, he had Curtis Dixon wide open there early, and elected to hold on to that ball. Smart play, but Dixon was wide open coming through the middle there early on in that transition set.
The NLL playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra continue tomorrow night when the Rock take on the Bandits at 7:30 p.m. Eastern in the East Division Final. All the action starts 30 minutes before game time with NLL Playoffs pregame live. The chase for the championship is on. Down to 45 seconds here in the first quarter of a contest with no goals in it so far, but plenty of action, plenty of chances, and plenty of good goaltending. That time a long shot into Christian Delvienko, no trouble for him. And now with 32 seconds remaining, it's Calgary who will get the ball back and look at about an 8-second differential. Delvienko starts his way to the bench. Now he's going to step back there. Looks like Calgary will keep him in there. Probably not quite enough time to pull in there with that 7-second differential. Now shot clock down to 5. Now here's Doby with it. Doby takes the shot. Ward makes the save. Up with it quick. Playing it down the floor. And a big hit there from Eli Salama. Shot in on Delvienko. He makes the save, and we come to the end of the first quarter tied 0-0. And I think we're going to have a penalty there, maybe, Jeff?
That's a big hit. I'm sharing the sentiment with my fellow Calgarians that I like that hit. I don't think that's a bad hit at all.
A big hit from Eli Salama. 0-0 the score. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League Playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live. No score here between Calgary and Colorado, but Jeff, a 5-minute major handed out on that hit that we just saw.
I got to see it again before I have an understanding of what happened here, but that's a good hit to me. I don't know how that's a 5-minute penalty. Unless it was high or it was contact to the head, I'm not 100% sure. But a 5-minute penalty in that situation, it'll be interesting to hear the explanation here. But
one more look here.
No.
Now they're calling this, Jeff, an illegal cross-check is the actual call. That looks like a lot of shoulder to me.
The only thing I can think of is the elbow coming up late there. That's about it. But other than that, illegal cross-check. There wasn't a cross-check there. So, maybe a bit of a missed call that hopefully the Calgary Roughnecks can rally around a solid penalty kill here. But 5 minutes at this stage of the game is deadly.
Take a look at the first quarter stats here. Not a lot of them. No goals. Shots on goal a little bit in favor of the Calgary Roughnecks. And of course, with no goals, not many face-offs either. That's the nature of the beast when it comes to that, but a pretty even quarter of lacrosse so far, Jeff. Yeah, two teams. This is what we said at the start of the game was it's got to be your best effort this year, and you got these two teams are matching up well right now. I think this style of game plays a little bit more into the hands of the Colorado Mammoth than it does the Calgary Roughnecks, who are more of a run and gun team. It's settled in to be a very good first quarter back and forth. I think the goalies are stealing the show right now. Absolutely, but what an opportunity now for the Mammoth to grab a little bit of control here as they will go to the power play for 5 minutes. I mentioned that power play during the regular season really struggled at 37.5%. Penalty kill for the Roughnecks was 60.8 during the regular season and 3 for 3 last weekend in that big win in San Diego. But they have their work cut out for them here as they have a 5-minute major to kill off here as a result of that hit.
Well, big first face-off to chip away at the first 30 seconds of this, so hopefully Tyler Burton scripts this loose ball.
And we see that battle. Burton had a chance at it, but it's chipped back towards the Mammoth end. Courier trying to create a turnover there, chips it on goal, and Ward had to be on the ball there. And now here we go. The Mammoth will start this long power play as they bring it in. Wardle has it for Colorado. Wardle plays it up high, then gets the return pass as they now move it around. Wardle with it, working it to Lee. Now Lee passes off. Eventually it comes down. Oh, the ball's dropped briefly. Just 8 to shoot now on the shot clock. There's the shot wide of the net, and it comes all the way back towards center. And That's going to give the Roughnecks a chance to kill some clock here on this power play.
Not that I played on a lot of power plays in the NLL, but the Colorado Mammoth open up with, I caused a lot of power plays just for my own team. But Colorado Mammoth opening up with a wheel set there. Didn't get too many looks out of it. Imagine that their next set here is going to be something different.
So now Dixon, always dangerous shorthanded for the Roughnecks. Looking at a bit of a double team, happy to just hang on to it and let the clock wind down here. 14 remaining on that. And now they've managed to kill off the first minute of this 5-minute major, down to 4 minutes remaining. Now Dixon in front, and Ward makes a big save as Dixon got a good look right on top of him.
Curtis Dixon is deadly on the short man. You know, you're going to see a lot out of that. They're going to hold the ball, and then look for that last 10 seconds, last 5 seconds to try and put something away.
Now Killen to Noble. Noble to McLaughlin, back to Noble. There's a shot. Del Bianco makes a save. Rebound is there and put over the net. And now a loose ball being battled for. And it's the Roughnecks that come up with it after some good work on that 2-on-1.
Beautiful save, beautiful first effort and second effort by Christian Del Bianco, and then an even better ground ball scrap. That's the type of stuff that you need to win playoff games.
Now Harnett has it for the Roughnecks. Gives it to Doby, now down to 3:09 remaining on the Mammoth power play. Doby spins off a defender. Now he peels off, looking for a bit of room out there. Hard angle shot. And that'll give the Roughnecks possession back, as I think it went off Ward up into the netting. And with 2:59 to go here, that should allow the Roughnecks to take care of about the first half of this long penalty kill. Dixon takes the ball from the official. Just happy to walk it slowly, allow that time to expire. Now he does play it. Up high. Calgary just content to let the shot clock wind down here on this long penalty kill. Now Dixon finds it off the end wall, can't take it with him. And now he's on a 2-on-1 situation down low, and that's going to give the Mammoth possession back here with 2:30 to go on this power play. 12:29 to go here in the second quarter. Still no score here between the Roughnecks and the Mammoth. Lee now passes off. McLaughlin goes back and forth with Wardle. Now McLaughlin gets the ball again. Now to Vitarelli. Vitarelli up high to McLaughlin. There's a nice pass and a nice shot. Oh, looking for the quick stick, actually. That doesn't quite connect. And now just 3 seconds on the shot clock, off the bar. Rebound comes back to Lee, who authored that original shot. Mammoth get a fresh 30, and now under 2 minutes remaining in the power play. McLaughlin has it. Now a chance out in front, and Del Bianco makes another save.
Well, that was lucky. Christian had picked his shoulders up, and that ball hit him right in the foot.
Now shorthanded opportunity, and a save made by Ward. That off the stick of the captain, Dan McRae. Minute 35 to go here in the power play for the Mammoth. As Calgary's done a good job so far to this point of killing it off. McLaughlin now behind the back pass from Noble. Gets it back. Now he'll go to McLaughlin as they edge their way closer. Now Noble again takes the shot, whistles it wide off the end boards into the netting. And Calgary's going to get possession back again with a minute 12 remaining.
Well, we got a penalty coming here on Calgary, or excuse me, Colorado.
So that'll end it. So Calgary will get out of this situation unscathed and actually enjoy some power play time as their own, and for that reason probably happy to take the shot clock down here to maximize how much 5-on-4 time they will enjoy. Now they'll look for an opportunity. Here's Dutch with it. Dutch passes over to Doby. It gets through to him. Bounce shot goes over the net. And now we will get that call against the Mammoth. Jeff, I didn't see it. Did you see the penalty?
I didn't see it either, but I anticipate that it's something behind the play that you don't need to be doing if you're a Colorado Mammoth right now. You know, the 5-minute major penalty to the Colorado the Calgary Roughnecks. You know, and all of a sudden you're looking at a call going the other way here. So you got to play clean lacrosse when that stuff happens, and I imagine the refs saw something they didn't like down on the floor behind the play.
That's Vitarelli in the box now, so we'll have about 40 seconds of 4-on-4, and then Calgary will go up on the power play for the first time here in this contest. They also get possession, of course, coming out of that. Now here's Doby, all the way to the net, and can't find the corner as Ward comes up with another big save.
Dylan Ward continues to have Dane Doby's number. You know, this season, Dane's only scored 2 goals against the Colorado Mammoth all season long. a beautiful save by Dylan Ward on a major defensive breakdown by the Colorado Mammoth.
Now McLaughlin passes off as we're still 4-on-4 here. Rouet with it. Now a shot hits the defender. Rouet finds it. He tries his luck again. Off a body into the netting. And that'll be Colorado possession.
Both teams are doing an unbelievable job of getting in shooting lanes. When you're playing defense, you want to get in front of the head of the stick, which is exactly what both groups are doing right now. And balls aren't getting in the net.
Calgary now back to even strength, or five players rather, so they'll go up 5-on-4. But the Mammoth have possession, so by the time it's all said and done, Calgary will have about a 50-second power play out of this. But right now it's the Mammoth with 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock, still with it, looking for a shorthanded opportunity. McLaughlin can't find the ball, and here come the Roughnecks now on their first power play of the game. Power play 4 for 6 a week ago, a big part of that victory against San Diego.
You do not want to be in the penalty box playing the Calgary Roughnecks. They are very, very dangerous on the power play.
Dixon passes off, and now Doby with it. Doby to Dixon. There's a shot. Oh, behind the net. Stuffplay scores. There's your first goal of the game. Reese Dutch gets it. 1-0 Calgary.
Is that Reese Dutch or was that Tyler Pace?
Might be Tyler Pace. Pardon me, you're right.
I think it was Tyler Pace. That's a beautiful set play. You look at Dane Doby getting top side, finding Curtis Dixon. Dylan Ward steps up on a higher arc, and Tyler Pace is sneak behind the net on that crease defender to be able to dunk that ball. It's a beautiful set play.
Well, it fooled everyone, including me. I thought it was going to be a shot, and Pace had nothing but net there to shoot at, and he is pumped up. And what a sophomore year for that young man. He was really stepped up his game offensively in his second season.
Absolutely. I know that he wasn't in the lineup last weekend against San Diego, and to come in here and get the Roughnecks off to a good start, big looks for Tyler Pace. It was an excellent play.
Calgary Roughnecks get the first goal. Tyler Pace with it. You're watching the National Lacrosse League playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on VR Live.
Welcome back to the Scotiabank Saddledome. I'm joined by head coach Pat Coyle of the Mammoth. Pat, this low score at this point of the game, do you think it really shows how evenly matched both these teams are?
Sure, I think so. Two really good goalies showing that right now.
The tensions are building. Are you expecting them to continue to build because it's a do or die game?
Yeah, I don't know. If we let emotions get in the way of this, then we're focused on the wrong thing right now.
Thanks a lot for this, coach.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Kayla. So Tyler Pace with that first goal of the game comes early in the second quarter. 1-0 Calgary leads this one over the Colorado Mammoth. And that first goal, a big one, but this is the kind of game that the Mammoth want to play. Hang around and be opportunistic, and we'll see if they have an answer here after that opening goal. Here's Eli McLaughlin for the Mammoth. McLaughlin, well defended, so he's going to pass off. And now they're working from the far side. Eventually comes back to McLaughlin, juggled by Del Bianco, but he has it. And now the Roughnecks will try and come down the floor and build on the momentum here. After that goal from Tyler Pace, Wild has it. Wild passes off to Dixon. He jogs over to the right side. Dixon now will start forward, gets a pick. Now he's going to swing it across to Dane Doby. Doby with 10 to shoot, comes back to Dixon. Dixon now around the defender, takes the shot, looking near side, gets his own rebound, tries to stuff it in, and ends up in the crease.
Well, that's excellent defense again by the Colorado Mammoth. You see them sloughing in super tight to help defend on anything that's coming through the middle, which is allowing for those big skip plays to Dane Doby on the backside to attack topside. It's really good to see that the Colorado Mammoth are packing it in so tight to defend the middle of the floor.
So now a chance for them to tie the game. McLaughlin goes behind the net. 10 to shoot. 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 1-0 Calgary. McLaughlin again takes the shot. Del Bianco makes the save. And the loose ball is found by the Calgary Roughnecks. They'll run it down the floor here as they'll look to increase their lead here in what has been a very tight game so far. Here's the man who authored that goal. Pace with it. Pace looking for Dixon. Couldn't find him. Then Dixon takes a bit of a hard hit. Almost incidental contact there, still slow to rise up. Calgary eventually got the ball back, and with it, the fresh 30.
Well, that missed pass, to Curtis Dixon hit Dylan Ward, which caused that reset. There was actually no shot on the play.
So now Pace with it. Curls back, finds Doby, who has a bit of room. Doby takes the shot. Ward comes out to greet him and makes the save. The NLL playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra continue tomorrow night when the Rock take on the Bandits at 7:30 p.m. Eastern in the East Division Final. All the action starts 30 minutes before game time with NLL playoffs pregame live. The chase for the championship is on. That chase happening here in Calgary as well tonight. 1-0 the Roughnecks lead. There's a big chance and a big save by Del Bianco off of Ryan Lee.
A beautiful cut to the net. I think that's what the Colorado Mammoth need to do more of that. Is that off-ball play, those cuts, it really catches the Calgary defense off guard.
It's a showcase of great goaltending here so far tonight. Just the one goal yielded by Dylan Ward, but he's been terrific. Now Dane Doby has it. Eventually it comes up high and a shot off the post from Dan Taylor as he beat Ward, but not that post.
Good ball movement and a very quick release out of Dan Taylor that put a lot of pressure there on Dylan Ward.
Now here's Pace with it again. Pace now trying to find a little bit of room for himself. Said passes off. There's a shot from well out there. No problem for Ward on that one. And now it's released ahead to Coates. He'll jog it forward with 6:09 to go in the second quarter. 1-0. The Roughnecks lead this one by the slimmest of margins. McLaughlin passes over. Now they'll come behind the net this time. Mammoth will work it out from there. This is Killen with it. Killen around the defender. Tough angle shot handled by Del Bianco, and then Killen goes hard into the end wall. Now here come the Roughnecks back in transition as Kylie's with it. He's going to pull up and hand off to Curtis Dixon. And now Dixon will wait for everyone to join him, including Riley Lowen, who has the ball now, played down to the corner. King has it to Dixon. Dixon now comes to Dutch. There's a shot. Ward makes the save. And the Mammoth control the rebound. Oh, breakaway opportunity. Capito takes the shot. And Del Bianco with another big save as he stops the overtime hero from a week ago.
That was beautiful ball movement by the Colorado Mammoth coming out of their own end. A smart play not to throw that ball initially to Joey Capito, but to bring it up the off-bench side and find him streaking to the net. That's I bet Capito wants that one back.
Now here's Pace with it. His shot is off a defender. And now Lowen comes over near the wall. Struggles to get a handle on it. Shot clock now down to 7. Comes over to Dixon with 3 to shoot. He'll just put it on net. Ward makes the save, punches it to the corner. And the Mammoth have it there. Hope plays it ahead to Stewart. And a Pace was spilled as well. Fans don't like that. Eventually it comes back to Stewart from Coates, and now the Mammoth will get organized on offense here with 15 seconds remaining on their shot clock. 4:24 to go here in the first half. 1-0. Calgary continues to lead. Here's Vitarelli with it. Vitarelli now sends it over. A stick goes flying. Shot eventually comes in on Del Bianco. No problem for him on that one. Actually, that stick broke right in half. You can see one piece of it near the line and the other piece right down near the net. But no worse for wear as the score remains 1-0 late in the second quarter. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League Playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on VR Live. Welcome back to Calgary. 1-0. The Roughnecks lead the Colorado Mammoth, and we now have NLL Wired as we'll listen in with Ian Garrison.
Send Salamo over. No, he's got to go in the box.
No, he wants to talk to you.
We need the guy in the penalty box.
I know, he's coming.
Right.
He's coming.
Go. No, Dane, this conversation is here. Go.
What do you want us to do?
He cannot deliver that
What do
check.
you want us to do? In a playoff game, what do you want us to do there?
Here's the tech. Yeah, don't deliver it at that degree of vulnerability with that speed. Pull back, allow. Yes, he runs right through him. He hasn't even turned around.
He just got off. He got on.
Well, there you go, Jeff. You were looking for an explanation. I think you just got one.
I would have handled that a lot worse than Dane Doby did. I think that's a tough call. That's playoff lacrosse, man. That's not a 5-minute penalty in my books.
That ball rolls in on Dylan Ward, no problem for him. We're down to 3:45 to go here in the first half. 1-0 Calgary with the lead in a game that is, you don't see a lot of 1-0 games this stage in the half, Jeff.
This is, this is playoff lacrosse. Again, everything gets a lot tighter. Everything's a lot more important. You're more focused and playing the game, that you need to play to get to the next level.
McLaughlin tries a swim move, and then his pass goes off the foot of Jacob Rouet. That allows Calgary to turn it over with 3:15 to go here. They'll come down the floor. Kali's with it. Now he'll pass it off. And Calgary will go to work offensively here with 15 seconds to shoot. Dane Dobie has it. Dobie looks towards the net, saved by Ward. And now it's Dutch with it and a fresh 30. Dutch now plays it up high. Dan Taylor now. He passes off. Eventually comes to Dutch, swings it across. There's a shot. Ward makes another save, and the Mammoth recover the loose ball.
What you're seeing from Dane Dobie really well is he's shooting in unconventional moments. He's made that adjustment. Normally Dane takes his time, selects his shot, puts the ball where he wants to put it. Now he's shooting the ball in unconventional, off his back foot in different sets, trying to catch Dylan Ward off guard. He's doing a great job of it.
29 shots by the Roughnecks to 21 by the Mammoth right now, but both goalies have been great. And in many ways, Dylan Ward keeping the Mammoth close in this one, saving 28 of 29. Rolls all the way down to the Mammoth end of the floor. Calgary will take it there with 2:17 to go here in the first half. Riley Lowen has it. Lowen now passes to Dobie. Dobie now, his pass is picked off right at the point of contact. And then the Mammoth turn it right back over.
Thought there was a hold there coming out of the defensive zone. That's a missed call by the officials.
Now Dobie with it again to Dixon. Now under 2 minutes to go. Dixon walks it slowly in. Now he looks up, fakes a shot to the net, cuts to the net, and Ward makes another save on Curtis Dixon.
He knows where Curtis Dixon is going. He's going far side. Expect Curtis Dixon to, on that next play, to try and come backside with that ball as he's coming cross crease.
Now down to 95 seconds remaining in the half. 1-0 Calgary leading. Colorado trying to change that right here. McLaughlin has it. That passes. Cummings got his stick on that to intercept it and chip it towards Del Bianco. And now Cummings runs the floor.
Those are two disrupted plays by Chad Cummings. A quick stick on the power play early, and then that pick and roll. He's doing a great job getting into passing lanes.
Now here's Pace. He has the only goal of this game so far and has the ball here. Gives it to Dobie. Dobie now spins off the defender, dances around the crease. Now comes back behind from the net, passes off. That shot's blocked, and King is getting into it down low there. And it looks like nothing will come of that. And now down to 52 seconds remaining. The Mammoth will have one more opportunity here to tie this game up. McLaughlin passes off. There's a shot. Ooh, that hurt Bell as he goes to one knee. Then the shot comes in on Del Bianco, makes the save into the netting. And it looks like Bell's okay. Quick shot on goal. Del Bianco makes the stop. As the Mammoth there looking for a quick shot so they get another opportunity, another possession. It's the Roughnecks that run down the floor though with it. And trying to run away from some attention is Riley Lowen, who passes to Dobie eventually. About a 8-second, 7-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Dutch now with it with 5 to shoot. Dutch now tries to find a man, Dixon, and scores! What a pass from Dutch to Dixon, 2-0 Calgary.
Well, a beautiful finish by Curtis Dixon, and that all stems from getting that shot off early to try and have the last possession. I don't think that's a smart play. I've never been a big fan of it, and what you see here is just patience on the Calgary Roughnecks. You could argue that it'd be a patient play doing the same thing on the opposite end by the Colorado Mammoth, but anytime you give these guys the ball when they can take some risk, late in a shot clock, the ball's going to wind up in the back of the net, if you're the Colorado Mammoth.
That comes with exactly 9 seconds remaining in the second quarter, 5th of the playoffs for number 17. And now a face-off contested Calgary gets it, I think immediately call timeout. And it'll draw up a final play. 3.8 seconds remaining in the quarter, Jeff. How big is that goal late for the Roughnecks to give themselves at least a little bit of breathing room?
It's huge. You know, this game is, you know, unless it's going to get opened up wide here with penalties or something like that, it's pretty even. You got two great goaltenders, you got defenses that are playing well, and this is going to come down to those broken play situations. You know, certainly not questioning the call of assistant coach Sean Williams. He knows what he's doing in an offensive setting, but looking back on that, I would have probably used that 30 seconds and let the Roughnecks have to transition the ball out of the defensive end. You know, again here, Reese Dutch freezing the defense, Curtis coming top side, and not even looking at the net. You know, throws the ball, you know, past Dylan Ward far side where he's been going all night. You know, I think Dylan Ward, you know, at the end of the day would probably expect Curtis to have done something there, maybe a backhand, catches him off guard, and you know, we got a 2-0 lead, you know, rolling into to the break here.
So Calgary will have 3.8 seconds left to do something. Dixon will take it from the official. And they have Del Bianco, of course, on the bench to work a 6-on-5 here and look for an open man. And maybe try and get one more good look here. Dixon takes it, fires it down the floor. There's the shot deflected. Rebound to King. He scoops it wide of the net. And we will head to halftime with the score 2-0. And on one hand, Calgary has to be happy with that, Jeff, but this is also exactly the type of game that Colorado's looking for.
Absolutely. Whoever scores the majority of the goals in transition here is going to win this lacrosse game. You've got two teams that are putting a lot of pressure on each other's goaltenders. You've got two goaltenders that are playing arguably their best games of the season right now, considering the amount of shots that are on net. You know, we're on pace here for, you know, 60, 65 shots on goal. I think, you know, obviously the Roughnecks with the edge, 31-23 right now, but this is a great lacrosse game. It's fundamentally sound, and you're not seeing a lot of mistakes. You know, the transition game, I think, is going to win this one for whichever team steps up.
Absolutely. We're going to send it down to the floor now. Kayla Spees has grabbed Dane Doby of the Calgary Roughnecks.
I'm here with Dane Doby. Dane, this is such a battle tonight. What needs to be said in the locker room right now for you guys to keep this lead?
Keep grinding, keep working hard, and hopefully things bounce for us right. And we just keep up the hard work. Our defense is playing fantastic, and we just need to put the ball in the net up front.
Eli's hit really, I guess, gave some life even to the building, to the bench, all of that. But can you describe the tension building between these two teams on the floor right now?
Well, it's Western Finals. We want to prove each other, and both teams are battling hard, and, you know, it is what it is. We'd like to come back next weekend and have another game.
Thanks a lot for this.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kayla. 2-0, the Calgary Roughnecks lead Colorado in what is the lowest scoring playoff game since 2009. We'll have the halftime for you next. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League Playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on VR Live. Welcome back to the West Division Final here at Scotiabank Saddledome, where the Calgary Roughnecks lead the Colorado Mammoth 2-0 at halftime. For the Calgary Roughnecks, Reese Dutch this season has been a roller coaster of emotions. After being acquired from Vancouver, he is one win away from playing for the NLL Championship. He sits down with Kayla Spees to discuss the trade to Calgary and the excitement of being in the playoffs with a chance to play in a championship final.
I'm joined by league veteran Reese Dutch. You are in the midst of another playoff run, but this is your 11th season. You are no stranger to playoffs. I want to actually kind of reflect on the 11 seasons. What have you learned about yourself through this journey?
Oh man, I mean, that's 11 years of my life. I'm 21-year-old to now 32-year-old. Quite a bit has changed, I'll tell you. But I don't know, I'm happy to be in the playoffs, that's for sure. I think, it's been a few years since I've been there, but earlier in my career we had some success as a team, and it's just an exciting time of year. I love it.
Now that you've had obviously the entire season under your belt, you guys had that bye week before the playoff game on Monday. Have you had a chance to reflect on what this season actually was, even for yourself and everything you've been through in your career?
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's a little bit different. I think from a team perspective, you're always tight-knit with your teammates and everything like that, but it's just this group. It's something special about it. you know, obviously you're excited every year and every weekend to go see your team, but it's just everything about it's exciting. I mean, probably the first time in my career, I actually really want to go to practice. You know, just not only because they run a great practice, but you're seeing the team, and it's just everybody. You know, like we got those T-shirts made for the playoffs, and they're 25 strong. It really is. It's a true statement that it's just a band of brothers. To be cliche about it.
You've really molded into this team, and your performance obviously shows that on the floor. And like you said, you love being with the guys. From a different perspective of this question, how do you bring your playoff experience from a complete different organization to this team that you're so close with, and it's maybe a completely different experience for you? You obviously want to, lean on some of the things you went through in playoffs, but like, is it just a totally new experience for you?
Somewhat. I mean, like I said, a lot of the playoff runs that I've had were a little bit earlier in my career, where we had veteran guys sort of helping to control the emotions, and it's an emotional time of year. It's very positive, you're excited through the week, but there's a lot of pressure in those games, right? Especially for the first couple rounds when it's single elimination. So I think just bringing experience, kind of maybe trying to keep her calm and cool on the bench and stay even keel through the ups and downs of a lacrosse game is going to be huge, and I think that's going to kind of be where some value is that, yes, there's a bunch of us that have been here before. I've been here a few times, and there's also some guys that haven't been, so we just got to make sure we stay level together, and I think I can help do that. Being
part of this team, you guys are always talking after every single game, you want to perform for the fans. Your last home game here was a sellout. The roof, I thought, was going to explode off the building here. For you guys to be able to play a playoff game and the West Final here in front of fans, what does that mean for the team? It's playing in front of these fans is just an amazing experience in itself. And that last game of the year, I mean, it was great all season. I mean, even we had crowds during spring breaks that were surprising. It's awesome, and like you were saying, yeah, you could feel the floor shaking. It was so loud on the weekend. It was so cool. And I think, you know what? As much as maybe Colorado won't think it's an advantage for us, in our locker room we believe it's an advantage for us, because man is the city behind the team. So I'm super excited. I hope it's another sellout. I mean, even if it's not, it's still super loud, and it's just a great atmosphere to be a part of. Well, best of luck on the rest of the playoff run. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Saddledome, where it's the Calgary Roughnecks leading the Colorado Mammoth 2-0 here at halftime in the NLL's West Division Final. My name's Grant Farhall with Jeff Snyder. Glad you're with us here tonight, including down in Colorado. If you're watching on altitude here, great to have you, and of course also on BR Live. Good game here, Jeff, tonight, but we want to go back a week ago, because Colorado, a team that really believes in their destiny, in part because of how they got here with that magical win last week in Saskatchewan.
A hard-nosed effort by the Colorado Mammoth. This is, one of the grittiest teams they've had in years. I was talking to John Grant Jr. via text, and he was complaining that they always struggled with us in the postseason, and it might not be the same situation tonight with this gritty team. They're playing very well, and you can tell, just with the hard-nosed plays, big plays like this out of transition with Joey Capito late in the game, holding a very potent Saskatchewan offense to 10 goals is a big deal, especially in a National Lacrosse League playoff game.
Yeah, absolutely a thrilling moment for Joey Capito and for the Colorado Mammoth. Now, when you talk about the Mammoth and the Roughnecks and their playoff history, it has not gone the way of Colorado. In fact, when you look at the record and you look at some of the numbers here, it's actually quite stunning.
Yeah, 9-1. I think dating back to 2006, I believe. It was a pleasure to be a part of a lot of those teams. The great battles, great history, great rivalry. A 2-hour flight. It's always great to not have to travel East Coast to play in a playoff game. And there's a lot of heated rivalry here. Between these two teams, and it makes for a great playoff matchup, great lacrosse.
Now, when you look at a record like that goes back to 2006, is that relevant at all to the current players on the Mammoth? Does that play into their psyche, or is it just irrelevant?
Not at all. There's so much parity in this league. Every team's very, very good. Any one of those games over that that span, over that 12-year span, could really have gone any way. This game's a game of runs. You got to play well. You have to bring your best game every single night that you step on the floor in playoff lacrosse, especially in the NLL, because you might not get another opportunity that year. So these games are going to go either way. It's going to boil down to who sticks to their game plan and who executes well. And I think the one thing that you're guaranteed out of this matchup is that everybody's playing their best lacrosse right now. So the best team's going to come on top. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of mistakes being made, and to circle back and answer your question, it doesn't matter at all.
Now, a big moment in that first half was a big hit by Eli Salama that was called for a 5-minute major. Jeff, you had some strong opinions on that hit. We'll take a look at it here.
Well, I think this is a good play. He doesn't leave his feet a couple of steps. Yes, is he vulnerable? Absolutely. But, if I'm Dylan Ward, that Dylan Ward's more responsible for that hit than I think Eli Salama is. So, I don't know if I would have called that a 5-minute penalty. That's a big call to make in a game like this. But, at the end of the day, the Roughnecks killed it off, and they're in a better spot right now for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Leading this one 2-0 as we get set to start the second half here in a few minutes. Calgary leading Colorado 2-0 here at Scotiabank Saddledome. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live.
Welcome back to the Scotiabank Saddledome. I'm joined by Joey Capito from the Colorado Mammoth. Joey, this is the lowest scoring playoff game since 2009. Defensively, where do you guys want to tighten up, though?
I think defensively we're playing pretty well. Wardo's playing awesome in net. We're giving them some good support, so we're just going to kind of keep it up and limit their opportunities.
Thanks off of this. Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Kayla. 2-0 Calgary leading this one over Colorado. Jeff, as we take a look at the first half highlights.
Goaltending's been out of this world. Both Dylan Ward and Christian Del Bianco are doing a great job. The Roughnecks are playing physical, as you see, with this hit from Eli Salama. Another great play. I'm going to disagree with the ref still. And this is a game about great plays and capitalizing on mistakes. A beautiful set play on a power play results in the first Roughneck goal. And then, I think a mistake by the Colorado Mammoth giving the Roughnecks back that ball, which resulted in a second goal on that beautiful play by Curtis Dixon.
All right, as we get back to the live play here, already underway here in the second half, and the Roughnecks will have possession here. And in fact, we have a delayed penalty coming up to the Mammoths, so Calgary working the 6-on-5. There's a shot by King, finds his own rebound. As Calgary now 6-on-5 on the delayed call. Doby has it again to King. King now to Dixon. Dixon takes a shot. Rebound is there in everyone's feet, and we'll get the whistle now, and we'll get the penalty that'll send Calgary back to the power play.
For us, 68, Tyler Pace. Cross check for them, 29.
2 minutes, checking an attacking player in the crease.
All right, so Calgary will go to the power play here, and an opportunity, Jeff, to go up by 3.
Well, I didn't see the play, but looks like we got offsetting penalties to start the period as well. So, tough call for Dan Coates, and another opportunity here for the Calgary Roughnecks.
So they go to work now on the 5-on-4. Doby took a spill, now gets the ball back. Now to King. King plays it down low, eventually comes to Dixon. Dixon up high to King. King takes the shot, scores! Jesse King, 3-0 Calgary.
Well, what's great about this play is that Jesse King winds up, Dylan Ward gets going far side, and Jesse King, as he pulls this ball back, as Dylan Ward's moving, he looks like he's going to go far side, and he catches him back short side.
And you can see the emotion from King as he gets a big goal here, and that's exactly the start to the second half that the Roughnecks were looking for, as they put just a little bit more distance between themselves and the Mammoth. King's third playoff goal. And now we'll see if Calgary can continue this run, or if the Mammoth can get their offense going. Chip back to Manning, who gives it to McRae. And McRae now will step over center. McRae now passes over to the other side. And now the Roughnecks go to work. It's up high to King again. King behind his back to Doby. Doby now trying to escape some attention. Does. Nice pass off. And there's a behind the back shot from Dutch as he was spinning and falling, went wide of the net. And that's going to give the Mammoth possession back.
Well, the Mammoth are doing a great job on Curtis Dixon and Dane Doby. And you look at it now, you got Tyler Pace, you've got Jesse King getting on the board, and it's paying dividends for the Calgary Roughnecks right now, having that depth.
Now Lee out there, gets the ball. Lee had a big game a week ago, 6 points in that win over the Rush. This time he passes off. Here's Noble with it. Noble can't carry the ball with him, loses it. Good defense there by the Roughnecks. Now here's Cummings in transition. He'll pass off to Dane Dobie. Dobie now jogs down the left side. Now towards the center, winds, tries to use the screen, hits a defender. And now here come the Mammoth with numbers the other way. It's Edwards with it. He's got Capito with him. Calgary does a good job of hustling off the bench, though, to take away that transition opportunity.
Well, it's a great job by the offense getting off the floor. That's been an Achilles heel of the Calgary Roughnecks is that transition on the back end, and a great job of those guys committing and working hard to get the defensive squad on the field.
Now Wardle to Lee scores. Ryan Lee gets the Mammoth on the board. It's 3-1.
And man, they needed that. If one thing that the Calgary Roughnecks do is they really play into momentum really well. When there's blood in the water, the Calgary Roughnecks really step up, and the Mammoth needed that in a big way. Beautiful shot by Ryan Lee, far side around a screen. It doesn't get much more textbook than that.
And as you say, that's a big goal, but boy, you talk about the work of Christian Del Bianco. You get this far in a game without giving up a goal. That's quite something.
He's seen 23 shots, made 23 saves here in the first half. He's having a great game, and that's a tough ball to stop. In any league, you got a defender screening you. Lots of traffic in front of the net, and just a well-placed shot that finds the pipe on the backside.
At the other end, at this point, 31 saves on 34 shots from the man at the other end of the bench, or the other end of the floor. Dylan Ward has been just as good. And as a result, 3-1 the score here. And we'll see now if the Mammoth can build some momentum here on offense. Coates has it. Coates passes off immediately. He'll head to the bench. Rouet has it now for the Mammoth. Rouet tries to spin towards the net. Can't find any room there, so he'll pass off to the goal scorer, Lee. Lee now hanging on to it. He'll come over to the other side to McLaughlin. 5 to shoot. Hard pass through the slot area. Doesn't find anyone except the Roughnecks, who will turn it over the other way. Here's Cummings again. 11:13 to go here in the third quarter. 3-1 Calgary with the 2-goal cushion. Cummings now passes off to Dobie. Dobie now starts forward. One hand on the stick, bit of room to the net, almost stuffed it in. But a nice save there by Ward as the seas parted there for Dane Dobie for some reason. Some blown coverage, Jeff.
Absolutely. Again, Dylan Ward with Dane Dobie's number. You haven't seen Dane with this many opportunities be held scoreless. It's a big credit to Dylan Ward and his ability to shut that down.
Now here's an opportunity for King. Just chips it over the net. Comes to Dutch on the right side. Dutch now finds Dobie. Can't take it cleanly. It's in his feet. Eventually rolls to King, and he can't put it home. Pace is going to go to the corner to find it. Just 3 seconds to shoot, though. Fires it out towards the slot area, goes through everybody, and that's going to give the Mammoth possession back.
3-1 in a lacrosse game, normally I'd say this is anybody's game still, but in a game that's this defensively sound, this feels like a very, very big lead for the Colorado Mammoth to crawl back out of.
So now we'll see if they can get to within one as Lee has it, passes off. Behind the back pass. That finds Wardle. Wardle's checked nicely. Still has it. Now he finds Killen. There's a shot and a save made by Del Bianco from well out. No problem there for Christian Del Bianco as the score remains 3-1 under 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League Playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live. NLL on BR Live is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. And by Michelob Ultra, live Ultra. 3-1 Calgary leading Colorado here in Calgary as we take a look at some of the career highs on both these teams. And the name that stands out is Dane Dobie. This is a man who has enjoyed tons of great campaigns. He sets career highs in points and he shatters them.
He's got a season going right now that he's playing like he's in shape. Dane will be the first one to make fun of himself think I heard him in a comment last week saying, "Oh, I'm not the greatest athlete." Well, Dane Dobie is sure having a career year, and man, there isn't a more dangerous player right now in the National Lacrosse League. I don't know who there is.
Is he your NLL MVP this year?
He's got to be. In terms of having the season that he has and a career year at his age, and he's Dane likes his Diet Coke, but he's playing like fine wine this year. So I'm pretty impressed with the season that he's had. He's definitely a big impact on the NLL and especially the Calgary Roughnecks.
Oh, and once again, right on cue, Ward stops Dane Dobie again. Dixon cuts to the net. He was hit hard, and he's down.
Here comes a 5-minute penalty.
Yeah, arm in the air. Dixon finally back to his feet. That was a big hit. King now passes off as Calgary now with a 6-on-5. Dutch now to Dobie. Dobie takes the shot and scores. Dane Dobie finally gets one past Dylan Ward. 4-1 Calgary.
Right on cue. When Dane has time and room, he's going to find the back of the net. I expect you're going to see a 5-minute penalty here. Lots of time, got that ball short side. There wasn't a lot of room for that to go in. And again, changing your plane of your shot while you're in your windup seems to be an issue for Dylan Ward tonight. Jesse King had one earlier, and now Dane Dobie with the same shot, pulling it short side rather than far side.
And I see the official, I believe, putting the 5 in the air there. I think it's Scott Carnegie in the box.
That was a big hit by Scott Carnegie sliding cross crease, so I imagine that's the case.
Yeah, 5 minutes just went up on the board, so Calgary will go to the power play on that major and try and extend the lead that now sits at 4-1. A big opportunity to really lock this game down and put the Mammoth in a difficult position. Power play for Calgary, 2 for 2 on the evening so far, so a chance to do more damage, and this power play has been white hot in the postseason. Here's Dobie again. Dobie now to Dixon, takes the shot up high on Ward, makes the save. Good to see Curtis Dixon back out on the floor so quick, Jeff.
Oh, he's a gamer. That was a big hit by Scott Carnegie, and certainly rattled Curtis's cage a little bit. But Curtis is a gamer, man. He's going to be in there. He's going to continue to work hard and battle. What's interesting about this play is that as the Mammoth go to kill this clock, I'm not 100% certain, but they can rack up as many goals as they can here in that 5-minute period. I'm not sure if that goal right now accounted to that or not.
So now a battle in the corner for the Roughnecks. Manning comes over to take it away, and now Wild in transition has it. 8:12 to go here. 3:56 remaining in the third quarter. Calgary leading 4-1 with a chance to build on that lead here. Dixon now has the ball in his stick. Twirling it, passes off to Dane Dobie, who got that 6-on-5 goal to make it 4-1. Now to King, he's got one tonight. Comes to Dixon. Dixon now to King up high, behind the back to Dobie. Dobie doesn't like that look, so plays it back to King. Takes the shot, scores. Jesse King, second of the night. 5-1 Roughnecks.
Well, again, I think Dylan Ward thinking that ball's going far side. Jesse King, while in his windup, pulls that ball back to the short side, low on Dylan Ward. And again, I think what you're seeing here with the shot selection of the Calgary Roughnecks is changing the plane of your shots. He thought that was going far side, snuck it back short side, low pipe, and another Calgary Roughnecks power play goal.
So Calgary now goes up by 4, and it'll remain 5-on-4 as well. Jesse King's 4th of the playoffs, 2nd of the evening, makes it 5-1, and we'll see if Calgary, pardon me, actually you're right, Jeff, because the Calgary Roughnecks scored on that delayed 6-on-5, we're back to 5-on-5 action here.
There you go. I wasn't sure about how that was going to look, but again, you have the 2 goal maximum that you can have on a 5-minute power play.
Nonetheless, they get the 2 goals to go up by 4, and now here's Dobie again behind the back and scores! Wow! Dane Dobie, second of the night, 6-1 Calgary.
Well, that's what Dane Dobie does. He's got such savvy, such spatial awareness when he's getting through the middle of the floor, and as he's falling, an unconventional shot that's hard to read, and you look at him getting to the middle here and just throwing the ball on net while he's on the move. He knows exactly where he is, and he knows exactly what he's doing as he's falling, throwing that ball.
He's feeling it now, and the Roughnecks are feeling it. Their fans are feeling it because it's 6-1. The Roughnecks up by 5. Still lots of time to go on this one. 7:30 to go. 5th of the playoffs for Dane Dobie. 7:30 in the third quarter, so tons of time yet. But the Mammoth have to get their offense going here, as now they're staring at a large deficit. Harnett for the Roughnecks as the Roughnecks look to just pile on here. Dixon has it. He walks it slowly over to the far side. Now he looks towards the net. Dixon hangs on to it. 7 to shoot. Now into the slot area. Shot goes over the net, was deflected, and now the Mammoth have a chance to stop this tide and get some momentum back in this one. Lee has it. The only guy who scored here tonight is Lee for the Mammoth. This time he passes off, and now the Mammoth work it to McLaughlin. He tries his luck and scores. Eli McLaughlin with a big goal. 6-2. They're back to within 4.
Well, that's an athletic play. Eli McLaughlin starts traveling top side, puts the brakes on, swims his defender, comes right back down what you'd call the hockey lane, and sticks that ball far side, just a little bit of a floater over the right-hand shoulder of Christian Del Bianco. A beautifully placed shot. That's definitely a goal in any league.
Absolutely beautiful finish by Eli McLaughlin. And we'll see now if the Mammoth can find a run of their own as McLaughlin gets his first of the night. Shots on goal at this stage, 40-27 in favor of the Roughnecks. It was more even in the first quarter, but since then the Roughnecks have put a little distance on that total as well. But that's a big goal for Colorado here to inch their way closer, and we'll see if they can get to within 3 here as they get possession off the face-off.
They need to continue to keep their foot on the gas and not stray from the game plan. I think, the coaches on the Mammoth bench will probably settle these guys down. They just got to keep shooting and keep playing the game.
The NLL playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra continue tomorrow night when the Rock take on the Bandits at 7:30 p.m. Eastern in the East Division Final. All the action starts 30 minutes before game time with NLL playoffs pregame live. The chase for the championship is on. One of these two teams here tonight at Scotiabank Saddledome will be there. Right now the Roughnecks with the lead, 6-2. Dane Dobie with 2 goals has the ball again with 8 to shoot. Passes it up high to Dixon. Dixon now around the defender, takes the shot. And I'm not sure if that was saved by, oh my goodness. Now some whackety whack between, that looks like Mitch Wild and I think Jordan Gillis. I think are both going to sit down.
I think you had a Colorado power play coming here that they may have just evened up. I'm not sure what the initial call was. We'll see what the officials have to say.
Pardon me, that's Lord. Ian Lord got into it with Wild. And I think they're going to call them both there as we'll take a look here on that replay. There was the shot in there, and there you see Wild and Lord just giving it to each other. And they're both going to have a seat. Scott Carnegie's still in there.
Well, he'll be serving his full 5 minutes, and it's just chippy lacrosse. That's all good.
Now there's a lost helmet, so that's going to put Calgary shorthanded, and there's the goal. Corey Vitarelli, and all of a sudden it's 6-3, and we have ourselves a game again.
Oh, Corey Vitarelli, he's a roughneck killer, man. Back in the 2014 championship, he played a massive game for the Rochester Nighthawks when we dropped that one down in Rochester in the mini game. But it's a beautiful play and taking advantage of a helmet and a dislodged player that has to make his way to a bench. It's the Mammoth needed that to capitalize.
Well, and all of a sudden here the Dome has got a little quiet because it was rocking here when Calgary went up 6-1, and now you can sense a little bit of nervousness here by the fans. See if the Roughnecks can take back some momentum here. 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. We are far from done here. Face-off battle, chip back to the Calgary end. Nice job there by Burton to win that draw. And now the Roughnecks start forward. Jesse King with it. King pulls up. He's got Dobie with him on that side. King looking at his options. Tries to get around the defender. Tricky little shot that Ward gets a piece of. And Calgary gets the ball back. Now Dutch with it to Dobie. Dobie now back to his defender. He's going to give it to King. King takes the shot. Ward makes another save. And looks like King was trying to change that angle once again. Now ahead of the play, Capito, partial breakaway. Around the defender, takes the shot, and Del Bianco makes an outstanding save.
We got a penalty coming here. Too many men. Looks like too many men probably to Calgary. Hustling out of the bench to shut that transition down.
That comes with 4:40 to go here in the third quarter. Calgary leading this one 6-3.
Calgary bench minor, 2 minutes illegal substitution.
That's the call, legal substitution. That'll send the Mammoth to the power play. When we get back, you're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live. Calgary lead this one 6-3, but the Mammoth coming back in this one with a couple straight goals. And Jeff, we're going to take a look at sort of the championship pedigree on both these teams, starting with the Mammoth.
I called it earlier, Corey Vitarelli, roughneck killer. One of those championships was against us in Rochester. You know, Scott Carnegie, he's been a staple in Calgary with brother Mike. You know, John Lintz, you know, also a high quality defender. And you know, you get over to the Calgary side, you know, very robust in terms of how many guys have seen championship action. You know, most recently Dan Taylor coming over from the Rush, Riley Lowen coming over from the Rush, and then just pedigree all the way through from top to bottom with Dane Dobie to Tyler Richards.
Boy, whenever you're looking at these lists of championships on teams, it's a lot of Rochester.
It is a lot of Rochester. It is. You know, they got a lot of history there, and you know, they're a fantastic organization that's done a great job, and subsequently moving to Halifax here in the coming year.
So 6-3 is the score, but the Mammoth now back to the power play. Their power play is yet to connect tonight, 0 for 2, but a golden opportunity here to get to within 2 and put some real pressure on the Roughnecks. We'll see what they can do here as the play is whistled in, and they will now go to work, killing with it on the right side. Noble now will go the other way. McLaughlin with it. Now they change things up. Lee has it. Lee to Killen. Now they work it down low. Now here's an opportunity. There's a shot. Doesn't get through. Dan McRae trying to dive for it, and eventually it rolls to the Roughnecks, and Eli Salama has it in transition running the floor. He's just going to curl back and try and kill some clock here with 90 seconds remaining in the Calgary shorthanded situation. Harnett has it. Harnett to Dobie. Dobie now working shorthanded for another 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now Dobie again. Surveys the scene and just going to whip one on net. I think it was deflected, and Ward had to be sharp on that one. Took a funny bounce on the way in, and now it will be Colorado going back to work here on the power play.
Well, this last opportunity for them is a big one. They got to do something with this power play. They've got a couple of chances and haven't capitalized yet.
So now Noble back in the high position. He goes to McLaughlin, back to Noble. There's an opportunity, and Del Bianco makes the save. Ball up into the netting, and that should give the Mammoth possession back with 43 seconds remaining on this power play.
Beautiful save by Christian Del Bianco getting cross crease here. You know, a big play. That's why he's you know, one of the best goalies in the league right now.
Now Noble has it, back to McLaughlin. Takes the shot off the bar. Rebound is there. Now Noble again. McLaughlin, another shot, another save by Del Bianco. As the Mammoth come that close to making this a 6-4 game. Now it's Killen again to Noble, to McLaughlin. Noble behind his back, shot in there, and Del Bianco has it in his stick. Some good looks on the power play, they just can't beat Del Bianco.
You know, Del Bianco's holding them in the game right now, and has been doing so, you know, since the opening possession. You know, the Colorado Mammoth need to find an answer here. We just saw Eli McLaughlin come off the bench, head to the locker room. So hopefully he's coming back here soon.
I'll keep an eye on that situation. And now we're back to 5-on-5, and 2:38 to go here in the third quarter. Calgary leading this one 6-3. Dixon now facing a double team, just throws it down to the corner, but that'll be a 30-second violation against the Roughnecks. And now here are the Mammoth now looking to edge closer. They're down by 3. Rouet has it. Rouet draws attention, still has it. Now he'll eventually pass off to Vitarelli. Vitarelli around the defender, takes the shot, was deflected, and goes to the corner. And Courier takes it there for the Roughnecks, plays it ahead to Cummings. who will now let the offense go to work with exactly 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Doby has it. Doby trying to get around the defender. Well played, though, as he's turned aside. Now he gets a pick from King, and that, I think, pass attempt was well off the mark. And that's going to allow the Mammoth to play it forward, just almost out of the reach of Taylor Stewart. Does a nice job of recovering it, and eventually gives it to Noble. And now the Mammoth, with 90 seconds to work here in the third quarter, have Noble on the ball with 10 to shoot. Noble tries his luck, saved by Del Bianco. And Courier goes behind his own net, out the other side, before throwing it ahead to Dan McRae with 1:15 to go here. Calgary leading at 6-3 over the Colorado Mammoth in this West Division final here at Scotiabank Saddledome. Now Dixon drops the ball. It's up for grabs in the corner. Nice defense there by the Mammoth to come away with that. And ahead of the play is Gillis. Gillis has a bit of room. Now he's greeted by the defender. Gillis now will wait for the offense to help him out there with 48 seconds to go. There's a shot kicked out by Del Bianco. Rebound to Rouet. His pass attempt hit Burton in the back. Now the Roughnecks. Courier picks it up. Gets around Rouet with 33 seconds to go. It's about a 6-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. So we'll see how Calgary chooses to handle this one.
Well, Tyler Burton soaked a big shot there. He's heading to the bench, walking that off, but I think he took that right in the back of the calf. A big block to potentially keep a ball out of the net there.
Now Dixon trying to run through some traffic, find Doby cutting towards the crease, couldn't get it to him though. And now 7 seconds remaining. The Mammoth are going to try and get down the floor quick here for one more look. It's Capito with it. Capito to Noble. That shot goes well wide of the net. And we'll head to the fourth quarter with Calgary leading this one 6-3 after a third quarter that saw both teams get the offense on track. Calgary outscoring Colorado 4-3 in that quarter. They'll take that 3-goal lead to the final frame. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live. (6-3) Calgary leading Colorado here in the NLL's West Division final at Scotiabank Saddledome in front of about 9,000 fans here tonight. A good full house here and a crowd that's enjoying it. We take a look, Jeff, at the third quarter stats.
This has been, despite the 3-goal lead, it's been a very back and forth, well played lacrosse game. Yes, sure, the lowest scoring game for quite some time in the National Lacrosse League in the playoffs, but that being said, an entertaining game nonetheless. You equate entertaining lacrosse to high-scoring action, but there's a ton of action going on right now. The reality is that you've got two very good goaltenders, making this very hard to score goals.
Well, it's true to some extent that the difference in the game right now is those 5-minute majors. Calgary kills off the 5-minute major. On the other end, the Mammoth yield 2 goals, one on the delayed call, and then the second on the penalty itself. And that's your difference right there.
Exactly. We said it earlier when we were talking that I felt that transition was going to be, the difference maker. But that being said, Calgary's so dangerous on the power play. Any scouting report is stay out of the box. So expect a very clean fourth quarter for the Colorado Mammoth as they try to claw back into this one.
I have a feeling we're in for a doozy of a finish as it gets loud here at the Dome. Face-off is chipped back to the Calgary end, but that's going to give the Mammoth immediate possession here.
You can go back over one line, but you can't go back over 2 after the initial face-off possession.
So opportunity for Colorado to get the fourth quarter started right. As Wardle has it, he passes off to Noble. Now they'll work it from the far side here. Eventually to McLaughlin. Good to see him back out on the floor. They takes the shot. Save made by Del Bianco. Immediately throws it ahead. Del Bianco very dangerous with those long passes. This time he finds Courier, takes the shot at a big save made by Dylan Ward.
Beautiful play by Zach Courier there. The ball went up. He was running in traffic, and rather than follow the passes, it wasn't a hard pass. It was a floating pass with an arc on it. He turned his head, looked up floor, and collected the ball off the first bounce, rather than getting blown up coming through the middle. So, Zach Courier, an unbelievable presence for the Roughnecks, a welcome addition and a beautiful play, and why he's such an educated lacrosse player.
And on that play, Colorado takes an illegal substitution penalty. That's going to send Calgary to the power play. Calgary's power play officially 4 for 3 on the evening. King now has it. Passes to Dutch, back up high to King. Now he goes down low to Dutch eventually, and a huge save there by Dylan Ward. And now a big battle behind the net. And the Mammoth come away with it. That's big with 1:38 remaining in the Calgary power play. Now Lord almost juggles it out of his own stick, gets it back. And he's going to pass off here to Rouet. Rouet now starts forward, takes a shot, and a big save by Del Bianco on that short-handed bid.
If you're going to shoot that shot, you got to make sure that you're finding a pipe or a tighter angle. You know, you just can't throw that ball right into the numbers and expect that it's going to create anything for you.
Now Dixon with it, 1:08 remaining in the Calgary power play. King has it, takes the shot, nice save there by Ward. Ball way up high, recovered by the Roughnecks, comes to Dixon from Dutch. Dixon still with it. Now Dutch to Dixon. King goes behind his back to Doby. Now he goes behind his back to Dixon, and they score. Curtis Dixon on the power play on some great passing. 7-3 Roughnecks.
Well, Dylan Ward's having a real hard time following Curtis Dixon's stick while that's below his knees. You know, Curtis is such a dangerous lacrosse player because he puts the ball in from anywhere. His stick can be above his waist, below his waist, behind his back, you know, wherever it is, and he's just so hard to track, especially in these broken situations. Very similar goal to the earlier one that we saw, the Roughnecks' second goal of the game. You know, Curtis Dixon doing what Curtis Dixon does, and he's the best in the world at it.
And that's a big goal for the Roughnecks as it restores a 4-goal cushion. 6th of the playoffs for Curtis Dixon, as he has been extremely productive in this postseason so far. Calgary gets the face-off win to boot as we're back to 5-on-5 here, as the Roughnecks look to extend the lead. It's Pace now with it. He opened the goal scoring in this game way back in the first quarter. Last time a turnover, nice defense there by the Mammoth, and they're off to the races. Little hit there that self-absorbs and gives it to Stewart. Stewart now will bounce it into the hands of Eli McLaughlin. His hard pass finds his man, shot in on Del Bianco. No trouble for him off of Lee. And he's up with his own rebound, playing it ahead to Harnett.
Well, this is a very explosive Calgary team right now. If you're, you know, if I'm on that bench and I'm up 7-3, we're stepping on the gas right now more than laying off it. So, you know, expect another quick goal here out of Calgary and a tough defensive stand out of Colorado.
Dixon shot his block, gets his own rebound, then he's tripped up, falls to the ground as they swarm on him. Eventually, it's Ward who comes up with it, as they were not going to let Dixon get a sniff on net that time. Now it's Gillis for the Mammoth with under 12 minutes to go. He'll now head to the bench as the Mammoth needs to start to get some goals here. McLaughlin absorbs a check. McLaughlin now, nice pass off the foot of Noble. Comes clean to Killen, and a save made by Del Bianco, who had a good look at that one. Now Courier for the Roughnecks. He's been very involved as usual. Second in the league in loose balls during the regular season, despite not being a face-off man. Pace now, trying to work his way towards the net. He faces a 2-on-1, tries to chip it to his teammate Dutch, who then takes a big hit, and Pace doesn't like that. And I think we're not going to have a penalty coming out of that, but it should be Calgary possession. See the replay there.
That's a veteran play out of Reese Dutch. You know, you go into the boards like that. You see it very similarly in field lacrosse when you get in front of the ball. You know, he just gets a little bump, and a smart play, a smart veteran play by Reese Dutch to get the second possession.
Now Doby shot in on Ward. Nice save by Dylan Ward. And here come the Mammoth looking for perhaps a transition opportunity. Tim Edwards has it. Edwards tries a little move, nothing doing there, so he's going to let the offense try it instead, including Wardle, who has the ball now. Wardle swings it across the other side, shot in on Del Bianco, and a save made for him. It seems like right now, Jeff, that a lot of the shots on Del Bianco are from a fair distance out there.
Yeah, the Calgary Roughnecks are doing a great job limiting that inside exposure for Christian Del Bianco, and he's too good of a goaltender. You got to get him moving, you got to get him active, and the shots that are going in are just great shots. You know, you can't blame them for not having those ones. You know, you got to see I think you need to see the Colorado Mammoth start cutting off ball a little bit more here.
Now Dobie with it. His pass hits Dan Coates in the back, and that's going to give the Mammoth a chance to turn it over and come down the floor. Hope has it. 10:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. 7-3, Calgary leading by 4. The Mammoth looking to change that here. 15 seconds on the shot clock here. It's Vitarelli with it. Vitarelli to McLaughlin. McLaughlin hard pass on the other side. That shot off the leg of Manning, I believe, and that goes way up into the crowd. And with under 10 minutes to go in the final frame here, Calgary continues to lead this one 7-3. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live. The Calgary Roughnecks leading the Colorado Mammoth in part from the work of that man right there, Curtis Dixon.
And he's causing a lot of problems right now for the Colorado Mammoth. You know, scoring unconventional goals, you know, being a massive threat when killing penalties. You know, he just does things that other lacrosse players can't do. And I think if Dylan Ward, you know, is tracking shots right now and you know, he's doing everything he can to hold his team in it. And when you're playing a guy like Curtis Dixon, there's just not much you can do in those situations. You know, he's creative, he's quick, he's big, and you know, he's certainly you know, a big reason why the Roughnecks are up right now, 7-3.
Big opportunity here for Colorado, though, as they go back to the power play. Bell in the box for a 2-minute minor, and you have to almost consider this one a must score if you're the Mammoth. Vitarelli has it. Gets the return pass. He's got McLaughlin with him. McLaughlin now takes it from him. McLaughlin tries his luck off a stick and into the netting, and that's going to give the Roughnecks possession back here.
Now you got to do better than that. You know, I think you know, utilize that shot clock. Find a layup. This is a big power play right now for the Colorado Mammoth.
That Bell penalty, by the way, a slashing 2-minute minor. That's why he's in the box for another minute 25 seconds. That's the time remaining for Calgary to kill off here. And now 9:15 remaining overall. Dixon can't handle it, gets it off the boards, working shorthanded. He's going to put it on net from that hard angle. And no one down there except him and the Mammoth, so they come out with it and play it ahead to Gillis now with 1:05 remaining in their power play. McLaughlin will take it again, step over the line, and now look at his options. Has a man off the bench. McLaughlin gets the return pass. There's a shot, whistles wide. Rebound is there to Vitarelli. He takes a shot. Del Bianco the save. Rebound was available briefly, but Harnett finds it for Calgary, and now he starts forward.
Well, again, Christian Del Bianco holding these guys in. I don't think the Mammoth are shooting as well as they have in the past. You know, look for them to start finding more pipes here. You got to do something to beat Christian Del Bianco.
Yeah, the shot clock has narrowed somewhat. 49-42 now, favoring the Roughnecks. And Del Bianco, 39 saves on those 42 shots. That shorthanded bid chipped over the net. And now the Mammoth have 21 seconds left to work with on their power play that has gone 0-4 so far tonight. 0-4 and 0-5 unless they do something in the remaining 12 seconds here. McLaughlin passes off. There's a shot, scores! Ryan Lee with a big goal to keep the hopes alive of the Mammoth. It's 7-4.
Well, that's just what we talked about, shot selection. Ryan Lee catches this ball. He catches it loaded, so he's set up to shoot. He drops his stick. Christian Del Bianco gets low, probably starts assuming far side. It's a very, very hard shot to execute, to bring that ball from low to high short side. So, you know, what we just talked about, getting creative with shots, doing something different, and that's a beautiful goal by Ryan Lee.
8:05 remaining, a 3-goal game, so there is tons of time remaining for the Mammoth to get back in this one. Well, they're back in it now, down just by 3, and that's going to be Mammoth possession off the face-off. We'll see what they do here. One of those games that they can make it close and put the pressure on the Roughnecks, and we are in for a whale of a finish. McLaughlin has it again. He passes off this time. There's a shot off the bar. Whoa, off the stick of Jeremy Noble. That close to getting that much tighter. The NLL playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra continue tomorrow night when the Rock take on the Bandits at 7:30 p.m. Eastern in the East Division Final. All the action starts 30 minutes before game time with NLL playoffs pregame live. The chase for the championship is on. 7:38 to go here in Calgary tonight. 7-4 Calgary leading this one, and they have the ball back here. And now Doby has it for the Roughnecks. Doby finds Dutch with it. Dutch now over to the other side looking for a quick stick from Doby. Tough pass for him to do anything with though. And the Mammoth have it back and now look down the floor looking to make this a tighter game if they can cash in on this opportunity.
Well, you're chipping away at it now. 7 minutes left. You know, each team is going to have, you know, a possession here, and you know, everyone counts. Everyone's got to count.
Del Bianco slides across to make a nice save. Played ahead to Salama. He gathers it in now with a little bit of room. Pulls up. And is just going to let the offense get on the floor. Probably the right thing to do when you're nursing a 3-goal lead. Now 6:40 to go. Pace now with it. Pace hangs on. Now with a bit of a path to the net. Try to bounce it in far side and put it wide of the net. And the Colorado will get possession back.
Well, there was space there. Tyler Pace just put a little bit wide. If that ball was a little tighter, it was in the back of the net.
It's now Wardle with it. Wardle, nice pass and a nice save by Del Bianco. Rebound was there, but Calgary comes up with now Burton in transition. He's got Doby with him, but also a whole pile of Mammoth defenders, so he's just going to wait and hand it off to Tyler Pace. Pace is going to send it across to King. Pardon me, that's Lowen with it. To King, back to Lowen. Now to Dixon with 9 to shoot. Dixon leans on his defender. Now bounces off a check behind the back pass, trying to find Lowen. Does find him, take a shot. And that was saved by Ward. Now a battle on the wall with under 6 minutes to go. Everyone's in there to take a peek. That's the Mammoth that come away with it, thanks to the work of Coates. And now, Jeff, you do really start to count possessions. Those opportunities are going to start to wind down here. Here's Killen behind the net out the other side. He plays it to Lee. That pass off, I think, Noble, and now here come the Roughnecks in transition. Bell was looking to split the D, couldn't. And then a stick goes flying. Eventually, it's the Mammoth to take it back.
Tyson Bell should have, you know, put himself into trouble there by trying to outrun a guy. He's got great speed, but you know, in this situation, kill that 30-second shot clock and you know, reduce a possession here.
That ball's thrown away, and now here come the Roughnecks down the floor here. It rolls down towards the corner area. Eli Salama can't handle it cleanly. Now he does pick it up and does the right thing, just escapes traffic and gives it to Dane Doby. We're down under 5 minutes remaining, 7-4 Calgary continuing to lead this one. Dutch now on the ball. Dutch still with it, takes the shot. Nice save by Ward, up with it quickly. And the Mammoth now with 4:30 to go have got to start cashing something in, but they throw it away again, picked off by the Roughnecks, and here they come. Doby's ahead of the play, takes the pass, back to Calise, takes the shot, and scores! Reese Calise, 8-4 Calgary.
Oh, that's a backbreaker right there. You know, the Mammoth you can't turn over the ball like that and consistently like that and expect to climb back into this game. You got to play perfect lacrosse, and you know, right now this is becoming very out of reach for the Colorado Mammoth.
And the unselfish play there from Dane Doby as he saw the better option there, and the nice pass and the nice finish, and that's a potentially backbreaker for the Mammoth. 4:21 to go, now down by 4. Going to start to get desperate here. When do you start looking to pull the goalie, Jeff?
You know, it's tough. It's not the same as hockey. It's you know, you pretty much score at will with a goalie pulled, but I imagine it's probably coming pretty quick here. You know, if I'm the Colorado Mammoth, I got to do everything I can to try and crawl back into this game.
Tyler Burton with a big face-off win at this time of the game. Those possessions are going to start to really matter, and he gets his team an opportunity to kill more of the time. A pass actually ends up being a shot in on Ward. He makes the save, and with the 3:58 to go here, 8-4, Calgary can smell the final. It's that close away from them. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League Playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live. And now for the play of the game presented by Geico, and we go back to this effort from Dane Doby as he goes behind the back. with a pretty one for the Calgary Roughnecks, Jeff.
You know, it's funny here. Early in a shot clock here, Dane gets himself into some trouble, and you know, typical Dane Dobie, you know, comes out of it squeaky clean. A beautiful play, you know, getting top side, getting to the middle of the floor, and you know, very acrobatic behind the back play that finds the back of the net to extend the lead for the Calgary Roughnecks.
Now we're going to back down to the floor there. Another NLL Wired with official Ian Garrison.
No, not at all! Not at all! Hey, Callis! Get off the floor! No! You're up. Go, Danny. Let's go. Good job, fellas. Sounds like it's a good slashing call. Here's the other thing. That door, you don't stand in it anymore. Hey, fourth quarter. Eyes are on.
All right, NLL Wired, and back to the live play here. The Mammoth did pull the goalie there, and Calgary turned it over, and now have it back down on the end of the Mammoth with 3:19 to go here. And the Mammoth get it back here, and you'll see right away that Ward will start to jog to the bench, and the Mammoth are going to try and go for some extra attacker magic here. McLaughlin with it. McLaughlin passes off. Gets the return pass, takes the shot, save made by Del Bianco. Rebound is there. Still up for grabs, chopped up high, and Calgary gets it back. Ward scrambles back into his net, down to 2:50 to go. Calgary up by 4 and on the verge of advancing to the NLL Championship Final. Wild has it. He'll pass off to Dobie. Dobie now to Dixon. Dixon now looking at a one-on-one. Tries to work his way around a defender. Can't find any room there. Still hanging on though. And now the 30-second clock will expire, although I think at this stage Dixon happy to just kill clock, Jeff.
Oh, that's exactly what's going on. Every possession that the Roughnecks have from now on will be a full 30 seconds, and they'll be looking to shoot, recapture that ball, and hang on to it again.
Extra attacker situation once again. Noble has it to McLaughlin. McLaughlin back to Noble. Behind the back pass. Oh, it goes all the way to the net and off the post as it fooled everybody. McLaughlin with it again. That pass is picked off, and here come the Roughnecks with exactly 2 minutes to go. Calise again with it. Has a chance at the empty net. Oh, he puts it wide. And now Cummings just trying to control it. Eventually comes to Dobie. Dobie's just going to hang on here. Eventually puts it off the post. Now it comes back. And finally the Mammoth somehow get the ball back without giving up an empty net goal there.
That's you're leaving Dylan Ward on the bench. It's you know, putting the boys in the middle of the net. Not a lot of padding on when you soak one of those balls.
Del Bianco with another save, and the crowd here can start to sense it as their team is now just 80 seconds away from advancing to the championship final. Courier goes behind the net, just wants to kill time here. Chips it to himself. What a play there.
Beautiful play.
Manning now with it. He tried to go back to Courier, picked off by the Mammoth. Here they come down the floor here. They're not going to give up at all. Shot in on Del Bianco, makes the save. And then the ball rolls back to him, actually still up for grabs. And a whistle on the play here, and Vitarelli is having a little bit of a chit-chat there with Harnett. Has been an intense, passionate game, Jeff.
Absolutely, you know, despite the low-scoring affair, it's been an excellent lacrosse game to watch. You know, Greg Harnett and Corey Vitarelli are, you know, getting put in the box to, you know, to hang out and keep those guys off the floor so you don't see any scraps break out.
I think both of them got called for the slash here, so with 51.8 seconds, they'll spend the rest of the game down in the sin bin. But the crowd on their feet here, 9,000 fans here at Scotiabank Saddledome, watching their team on the verge of advancing to the championship final and get a crack at what would be this franchise's third NLL championship. Now play whistled in, Dixon has it. Dixon killed clock at the end of the game last game in that win over San Diego. Gets the ball back here again after a big hit. Eventually, the Mammoth get it. And now here's Stewart with it. Stewart has a man off the bench. It's McLaughlin, takes a shot. Del Bianco makes another save, down to under 30 seconds to go. Stewart again. Ball's on the ground. Oh, and now we get some rough stuff. A bit of a brouhaha. Everyone's in there. And Jeff, if you're the Roughnecks, you got to keep your composure here.
Yeah, you know, you got to be team tough as well, though. You know what happened was you know, Eli Salama falls on the ball, kills it off. A couple of slashes get thrown, but you know the main thing is, you know, you don't want to see somebody get into a scrap and break a hand or do something like that. But you know, the guys are digging in and you know, they're playing passionately, and you know, honestly, this is the end of the Mammoth season, so well, why not? You know, they're gonna muck it up a little bit, and Calgary, you know, needs to get out there, play clean, but make sure that no one's getting injured, you know, at the same time while they're sticking up for one another.
That future looks bright for the Mammoth, though. I mean, you talk about a season, they go through a tough regular season, but that win over the Rush, that's going to be something that folks remember for a long time, and a lot of these young players, what a moment and what an opportunity to get some of that experience.
Calgary,
you know,
number
it's
25,
been a
2-minute minor, slashing. Calgary,
so
number
offsetting
3,
slashing
2-minute
penalties
minor,
here.
dead ball foul.
You know, but yeah, I think that it's a testament to the culture of the team, and you know, started with Steve Govett. You know, Dan Carey came in, and Dan Carey's since moved on. Now Pat Coyle is the general manager and head coach. Pat's a character guy. He was a hard-nosed lacrosse player, and you know, he's a guy that you know, certainly loves an opportunity to hold you accountable, and that's a testament to the character of this Colorado Mammoth team.
Absolutely, as we start to wind down the time here, and it is loud here as the team gets a salute from their fans. There's a shot out in front, and the ball's chipped down the floor, and the Calgary Roughnecks are going to the NLL Championship Final, led by that man right there, Christian Del Bianco.
Well, it's a big game by Christian. He's been playing big games all year long. You know, I saw a play earlier. He was kind of joking around with the referees, and you know, he's just cool. You know, he doesn't get wound up. He doesn't get phased. I think he's, you know, from a goaltending mentality, it's exactly what you're looking for. You know, he's just very level-headed. He's always having a good time, and you know, he's just relaxed and composed. And you know, for a sophomore campaign, he's doing a hell of a job for the Calgary Roughnecks.
47 saves on 51 shots at that, and at the other end, Dane Doby, Curtis Dixon, the big guns for the Calgary Roughnecks, got enough done. The Mammoth give up 8. That'll get you a win most nights, but Calgary got enough offense from their big weapons to get the job done.
Yeah, you know, I think going into this game, I think if you know, when you look on it on paper, you know, the Calgary Roughnecks are just deeper than the Colorado Mammoth right now. The one thing that the Mammoth have going for them is just a ton of heart and grit and character, and you know, that certainly goes a long way. You know, unfortunately tonight, that one penalty cost them a little bit, and you know, you got to expect that in a big game like this. You got a 5-minute penalty one way, a 5-minute penalty the other way. You know, very evenly, you know, matched up with respect to extra man opportunities, and Calgary, you know, just the better team tonight.
8-4 the final. The Roughnecks beat the Colorado Mammoth and advance to the NLL Championship Final. We'll be back with the post-game show. You're watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League Playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on VR Live.
I'm joined by the player of the game, Christian Del Bianco. Christian, another playoff win versus Colorado. An incredible performance by yourself, but first, describe from your perspective in net, what did the team do right tonight?
I think we just stuck to our game. I think at the end of the day, we didn't really care what the score was. We just played our game, grinded it out, and obviously in the long run, it played off.
Can you describe the zone that you were in? It took Colorado 33 minutes to score on you tonight.
I think when you get to that kind of point in the game, you're just not really thinking anymore, you're just doing, so it's always nice.
The finals, next weekend. Describe this feeling.
It's awesome, right? This is what you start at the year. Your end goal is to play in that last 2 games, and that's what we're here for. So it's awesome. It's a great group, and we're just really excited.
You guys are going to be on the road next weekend in the East, but we will see you back here in 2 weekends. Congratulations, Christian.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Kayla. Christian Del Bianco, the player of the game, and those honors well deserved. Jeff, you play shutout lacrosse for one half, and then you just give up 4 the entire game. That's going to win you a lot of lacrosse games.
Man, he's a big part of where these guys are going, and certainly a big part of a great season thus far. Again, 33 minutes, holding a team scoreless for 33 minutes in this league is very, very challenging. A big testament to the Calgary defense, but at the same time, Christian Del Bianco, making some great saves on some wide open opportunities that ultimately limited, Colorado's opportunity to get back in that game tonight.
Let's touch briefly about the Mammoth, because in many ways they played exactly the type of game they wanted to. Low scoring, defensive effort. They just couldn't get quite enough goals to get close when they needed to.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the story of their year is, the depth offensively has certainly hurt the Colorado Mammoth. Tonight, holding that Calgary team under 10 goals is a big deal. If they had a little bit more offensive production, I think obviously stemming from, the power play opportunities and the 5-on-5 opportunities, not a lot of transition out of them tonight. It was certainly a great lacrosse game that the Calgary Roughnecks were the better team tonight.
So the Calgary Roughnecks advance to the championship final. Well, they will face one of 2 teams. That game, of course, will happen tomorrow night. And we see here that the first possibility would start in Toronto on May 17th for Game 1. That would be a 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Game 2 would be back here in Calgary May 25th at 7 o'clock. And then Game 3 back in Toronto, of course. The date and time still to be determined here. Of course, the second possibility, Buffalo. That Game 1 would be May 18th in Buffalo, 7:30 p.m. start, again Eastern Time. Game 2 back in Calgary on May 25th at 7 o'clock start, local time 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Buffalo would have Game 3. That date would be set May 31st, 8 p.m. Eastern in Buffalo. Buffalo, Toronto, either way, that will be a whale of an NLL final.
Absolutely. And Calgary loves playing underdog. Both Toronto and Buffalo are ahead of Calgary in terms of the seeding. I think that plays very well into Calgary's hands. It's kind of no pressure going in, and these guys right now are playing the best lacrosse of their season, which is key. And I think in any playoff component, you want to peak at the right time. You compare it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, there's teams, you look at what happened this year in the NHL with all 4 top seeds being knocked off. It's about peaking at the right time, and Calgary's been playing their best lacrosse now, for the last 3 to 4 games, and they're coming into this, at the right time and getting hot at the right time.
Now, I didn't make you make a prediction in this game. I am going to make you predict tomorrow's game.
Sure.
So who's it going to be, Buffalo or Toronto?
This game's in Buffalo. Is it in Toronto? Banditland's a tough one. It's hard to go in there and play. Toronto, same thing. If I'm picking, if I'm Calgary, not a knock against Toronto. I think I'd prefer to see Toronto over Buffalo. I think Buffalo's going to come out on top this one, but then, that being said, it's any given Sunday out there for these groups. And tomorrow night, I don't think it's going to be any different. It's going to be the team that plays the better lacrosse. Tomorrow evening, it's going to advance to the championship game.
Well, tonight Calgary was the better team as they come away with an 8-4 win over the Colorado Mammoth, and by virtue of that, have an opportunity to advance to the final, where they will have a chance to win what would be the 3rd championship in this franchise's history. 8-4 your final here as we have a great game here. And of course, tune in tomorrow night as the Toronto Rock face off against the Buffalo Bandits. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with the NLL Playoffs pregame live. Once again, the final score here tonight, 8-4. Visit NLL.com for an all-access pass to the National Lacrosse League. You get the latest news, highlights, stories, and more. For Jeff Snyder and Kayla Spies, I'm Grant Farhall. You've been watching the 2019 National Lacrosse League Playoffs presented by Michelob Ultra on BR Live.